Howdy, people of the internet. It's me again, Will, and I'd like to welcome you to another video here on 411 Now. So today, I want to talk to you about Josh Duggar. So in case you missed my YouTube short video the other day, I put out a video letting everyone know that Josh Duggar got himself in a little bit of trouble. Actually, a lot of trouble. He was caught smuggling a cell phone from the visitation room back to the housing unit itself. And no, we do not know at this point if he got the phone from Anna or from another member of his family, or if another inmate passed it to him and then he brought it back to the housing unit. We don't know. The investigation into the actual smuggling of the cell phone is still ongoing. While it is ongoing, Josh Duggar is currently in solitary confinement, in the SHU, if you will, and he will remain there until the investigation is done. Normally, most of these investigations take about a week, and they could take longer while they, interview other people, look over the evidence, and then decide what they're going to do. Could he be charged with another criminal offense and get added time to his actual sentence? Yes, very, very much so. You may not think that smuggling a cell phone into a prison, federal or state, is much of a big deal, but it is. It is a huge deal. Why would they want to restrict a cell phone from the housing unit where other inmates can use it? Well, first off, they can not trace where that phone call and calls that are from that phone are being made. They can be used for drug deals, to carry out gang activity, to put out hits on other inmates, or maybe Josh Duggar just wants to look up, pictures of what on the internet. They can't control what that actual device is being used for, because all incoming, outgoing calls within the the communication within the prison are monitored. And with a cell phone, an illegal cell phone, they can't monitor what's going on inside the actual prison itself from that device. Was the first day of oral arguments in the Josh Duggar appeal of his actual sentence. To answer the question that so many people have asked me, last week, leading up to today's date, are cameras allowed in the actual courtroom for his appeal? And the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely no. There are no cameras allowed in the courtroom. In the federal court system, they do not allow the media in with cameras to actually record the proceeding itself. Now, in the state courts, very much so, and it is your right to an open and fair court system to allow to know what's going on within the actual case itself, but not in the federal system. Additionally, what did they argue about? His attorneys brought up 4 total motions. The first motion they brought up was that they were not able to effectively aid in Josh Duggar's defense because they were not allowed to use affirmative defense that the evidence that was seized belonged to Caleb Williams. They gave their side of it. They argued it to a panel of, that are there for the appeal of judges. They overheard it. They didn't rule on anything. The next motion that they filed, number 2, was that illegal seizure of the actual evidence itself. That was the second one. The third was that Josh Duggar was not Mirandized correctly when he got into the vehicle, where there's video of it, where he got into the pickup truck along with the 2 officers and started to talk about the actual case without the presence of a illegal aid, an attorney, that he didn't know that he was being arrested at that point. They say he was arrested, or he really wasn't, because they didn't tell him he was under arrest, nor did they tell him he was detained at that point. But that was the third argument that they actually made. The fourth and final one was that the court made grievous errors in judgment against Josh Duggar in the actual court case itself. And the errors were that he wasn't allowed to present certain evidence that could have pointed to other people having access to the actual computer the devices, the thumb drives, and everything else that the China. So those are the 4 avenues that they argued today in court. They didn't rule on any of that. They just heard the oral arguments, and then they will decide if there is enough evidence there to, award an appeal and a new trial for Josh Duggar, or if the charges should be dropped. Now, unlikely that that's ever going to happen, but they could rule that he does, that he is allowed to have a new trial. If they do that, other people have asked me, will they then be able to reinstall the second charge that they dropped without prejudice? And the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely yes. If that charge is that they can prove that Josh Duggar shared even one image from all of the images and videos that he had of one image with someone. He doesn't have to send it to him. All he has to do is show it to someone. They can prove distribution of actual evidence itself, and they can install that second charge, where we know how many years he got for the one charge he was convicted of, but the 2 charges together, if they throw both of them back on, if he gets a new trial, he could get almost double with the amount of time that he was sentenced to before. So there's a good and there's a bad to the entire thing. But that's where we're at today in the Josh Duggar appeal for his actual release and a new trial. So thank you for joining me today. You have a wonderful day.